What's up guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online video. Um, Yesterday the new event was released, the Hunt. This happens most years. I'm probably about to be beaten to what I'm trying to record here. But basically I've been running the event sites in my Astero because they are especially the high-sec ones are possible in T1 frigates and destroyers, but primarily most people that I've seen running them are doing it in Tech 2 frigates or destroyers or Triglavian ships. And so I sort of wanted to demonstrate that it's possible if you can't fly one of those, if you can't get into a Retribution or a Kikimora or something, then you can run it in something with slightly lower skill requirements. Now, this fit is basically just yesterday it's my exploration Astero. I just swapped some of the mid slots out and the low slots, but the rigs and everything are set up for my exploration work. So we'll have a quick run through. So you can ignore the rigs. Look, this is just proof that they're nothing to do with combat. That's hacking. These are line time. Obviously cloak and probe scanner. But then for the mid slots, there is cap drain in the sites, and obviously with a micro warp drive and a armor rep, this thing is not anywhere close to cap stable. So I've got a cap recharger 2 and a Republic fleet cap battery. I will say this fit isn't cheap. Obviously the ship itself is quite expensive, but I had a few items lying around in my hangar, and so I thought I'd fit this up with what I had lying around and give it a go. So cap recharger 2, web, just because the last guy flies pretty fast. I've got my micro warp drive, but you might be better off with an afterburner because they run warp scramblers, so you can't use that. And then a Republic fleet cap battery, and then I got my damage control 2, multi-spectrum energized membrane 2. I do have a kinetic energized membrane, Centum again because I had it lying around, but this was because normally Goristas do kinetic damage, so I thought I'd prop my kinetic hole a little bit. But it turns out in these events they're doing a full range, so I'd recommend changing this for another multi-spectrum. And then I've got my True Sancha small armor rep as my armor repairer. That's basically the fit, and it's just drones. It's worth bearing in mind I have very good drone skills, but sort of what I'm trying to make the point here is that because of if you fit the ship properly with decent rigs and things, you probably don't need as good as skills to be able to run it. So the way the event works, if you're not aware, is you have to find capsules, which you do on... they're just floating around in space. I did have one on my D-scan, but while I've been explaining it, someone's come in and picked it up. But basically the way you find them, so this guy's going to be running these sites. The way you find them is just through D-scan. You need to have in your overview settings, you need to have under entity, it is irregular capsule. You need to have that turned on, and then you'll be able to find them on your D-scan. I am going to warp to within here, because if you don't know much about D-scanning, I've got obviously 14 AU, the maximum size, and you can see that the system doesn't all fit in. So there you go, mysterious white capsule, that's what you're looking for. So somewhere near here, around these systems, is a mysterious white capsule. And so now the way you want to sort of track that down, because I know it's not near me here, is I will reduce this to 1 AU, which means it's definitely around me just here. And I drop the angle to 5 to make it a small cone. And then if you hold V while you click things on the minimap or up here, you'll spin around to track it. So V sort of tracks it, and it'll automatically descan for you. So you can see on my descan, I know it's not there. It's there. It's at this moon. So if I warp to within 0 on this moon,
warp drive active.
We should come across a mysterious white capsule. So I'm just going to run my stuff back up so I don't forget to do it later. And when we land, there should hopefully be a mysterious white capsule in here. There it is. And you just have to kill it. So I will start targeting, drop my drones, and I will also
to give the command to a
start
drone
burning.
requires you to have an active target.
They do occasionally, I've had a couple of them warp away on me. This one looks like hopefully it's not going to. No, it's not going to. But basically that's it. That's how you find these key cards. And then you just loot the wreck. And it should hopefully contain a hunt YC123 acceleration gate key. There we are. So that's how you find them. Then, it's worth knowing you can claim these here so that you've got the challenges like in most events to earn points for skins. Every time you locate a capsule you want to claim the reward because you get 5 points and it refreshes any second. There we go. And locate and destroy another mysterious capsule. So make sure you do that every time you find a capsule. What I'm going to do now is jump through the gate because the combat sites are combat anomalies. They're called Garista's Hunt Outposts. And what we're just looking for them. You don't have to have a key to go into the sites. You can jump in and run. Oh, that's a worm. He's probably doing the same. Which means there's probably none in here because this is I'm on my way down a dead end system because it's normally quieter. I say normally quieter, and this is a bloody busy system. But so none here, so we'll move on. But as I say, you can jump in to the site, you can go through the first acceleration gate, and then you have to deal with, I think it's 4 waves of rats. They're quite challenging. They've got E-War and things, and there's there's worms, and there's normally a cruiser in each wave, so a caracal or a blackbird. But you can't then progress to the boss if you don't have the key. So there's not a tremendous amount of point running them if you don't have a key to get through. No luck. So, like I said, I like to head down dead-end systems to look for these things. So, but also try and stay away from 1.0s. So what I might do, this is not quite a dead end, but that's odd. Why can't I? Is that like the average? Anyway, if I head this way, we've got to jump through a bunch of systems, and hopefully we will find one. But the boss waves, once you get through the acceleration gate, and we'll see this and we'll go through it, so if you want to just go watch that, skip through to the point in the video where we're doing one of those. That is, you jump through and there's just one frigate, but it is quite tough. It has a lot of damage and pretty good tank. So you do have to be aware of that when you're gonna fight it. And it has Swarp Scram, Web, and Newts as well. So you need things like the cat battery, or you need passive tank. I'm not very good at fitting frigates or destroyers, so I don't really know if you can passively tank on in a frigate or destroyer. I'm not the person to ask about that. But I'm just going to keep flying around now looking for one of these. They spawn everywhere. The high-sec sites are easier than the null sites, I believe, and I'm not risking taking this ship into a null-sec site. It would lose. You'll see when I run the site that this is quite tight, because, as I say, because I've not got the rigs correct, and I want to swap out the kinetic hardener for another multi-spectrum. But at the moment it's working. I'll probably keep using this until I lose it. You can do the sites a lot faster. It's something like a retribution. My court mates have been using them, and they have been getting through the sites really quite quickly. You know, when they fight the boss, they melt through him in about 15 seconds. Just, you know, rely on massive damage to just burst through him. But in this, the whole thing takes maybe 10-15 minutes. We'll see. It's just the waves in the first room that are a little bit time consuming. And they do have reasonable drone aggro as well, so you've got to manage that, because obviously this is just a drone boat. Hopefully we find one in a second, because it'll be annoying that I'm recording Grease's Hunt Outpost, probably already being run. But let's warp to one and see what we can see. So this is what we're looking for, right? Garista's Hunt Outpost. They're just in your probe scanner as an anomaly. You can warp in safely. You land. It's a dead space site, so you land on an acceleration gate. No enemies in there. And once you warp through, you want to make sure you claim the reward, because there's a reward for landing, and you need to claim that before you get the reward for killing 5 people. These are all miners, so I'm just going to check there's no one in the site by dropping to 1 AU, and there's no one, so we're good to go. Drop to PvE, and in we go. Music change. Let's hope this goes well, I guess. As I said, the tank is quite tight. This bit normally goes okay. I'm just going to burn away for a second because there's no... There we go. See straight away the warp scrams take out my MWD. I'm going to have that running, and already they've got drone aggro on me. Run a web, and we'll just see how it goes. This wave shouldn't be too bad because there's no worms in it, so a lot of, you know, most of these aren't that scary. If you want a quick look, I'll pull that in because that's a lot of drone aggro. The core axe, if you want to, you know, that's dealing kinetic damage, so the core axe is tanked well for, and you want to deal EM damage for the most part for all of these. And again, I'm using thermal drones, which are fine, but the reason I'm using them is that's where my drone skills are. I don't have maxed out skills in, I think it's a MAR for EM. But you can see the tank holds fine in these waves. You just got to manage your drone aggro and all will be well. But there are 4 waves you've got to get through. Oh, I forgot to claim the reward, but that's okay. So claim that, manage the drone aggro, and then you go destroy 5 non-capsuleer ships. So you want to make sure you claim the reward before you really start running the site heavily, because you want to make sure you get the reward for killing the 5. I didn't realise that still. Why aren't you turning off? There we go. That's been burning through my capacitor unnecessarily. Maybe it wasn't. It might be a visual bug. Who knows? I've looted a couple of these for this, for the first room. I've looted a few of the wrecks, and there's been nothing worthwhile up until this point. So I'm not bothering anymore. All the good loot is after the boss. So these are destroyers, so they take a little bit longer to kill. Also the bounties, I tend to get about 1.5 million per site, so nothing massive, but also not that bad. Because it doesn't take that long, especially if you're flying it in something a bit faster than this. I'm going slightly overkill on the rep, so let's turn that off. I quite like the look of the site. These things are always fun, big eggs. Head back towards that so I can web it. Bit unnecessary, but still it all helps with application. And then I pull the drones in and wait for the next wave. There's a small delay for each wave to turn up. I pull drones, I'm gonna orbit, just start trying to orbit that at like 5k, but what I tend to do is when if a cruiser drops on grid is I just orbit the cruiser. That orbit's not going to work because of the rocks. Let's just keep flying over here. Where are the rats? Also, you'll see the gate is inactive at the moment, so you can't try and fly through the gate until you've killed the 4 waves. And when you do so, it'll change to active and become visible in your overview. Otherwise, obviously, you could just find the keys and just blast straight through, but they stop you doing that, quite rightly. Right, time for a bit of drone aggro. Oh, there's a worm this time. So the worm does a lot of damage and applies everything when he's targeting me. And is also very good at hitting your drones, so you just have to be aware of all that stuff all the time. As you can see, my drones are taking some damage. That's the 5 killed, so claim that, and then the third one is the boss. So you don't have to worry about that now until you go kill the boss. Pull these again for the drone aggro. But you can see the tank's holding fine. Without running my afterburner, it's cap stable if I'm not being neutered, which at the moment I am, but I'll kill the condor in a second and then it shouldn't be a problem anymore. Might have to pull these guys again because the worm has them. Right, I'm going after the worm next because he's annoying. Chuck a web on there. And go again. I am yet to have a really good drop. From the bosses you can get... Oh, bloody drone aggro constantly. But you can see the tank on the worm's a bit better as well. They've got good reps, so when I pull off now, he should chunk his shield up a little bit. Or not. Yeah, the loot drops can be skins. I've had a few good skins now. The ones I've had have all been Garista skins, which you'd probably expect. You can get Overseer's effects, which are fine. You know, it's basically just straight cash. The best one of those I've seen so far in high sec is 15th tier. So you know that's not bad. But you can also get faction items and some really quite good ones. A few of my court mates have been running these, and they've had a couple of drops worth over 200 million. And that's in high sec from the event sites. I haven't been lucky enough to get them. My best drop so far I think is all in 35 million. And I've run 6 or 7 of these, so not loads. But yeah, they can be really lucrative, and I'm hoping I will get one soon. So this was just the second wave, wasn't it? Or was it the third wave? Second wave, I believe. So let's pull drones again, because I want to make sure I've got aggro when they land. Let's stop the repper so that my cap charges a little bit. And wait for the next wave again. They're spawning particularly slowly in this site for some reason. Those I'm recording. No cruiser again. That's interesting. This is the first time I've run a site so far with no cruisers, which is why I think it's interesting. Happens to be the one I'm recording, of course. They always make it a little bit different. Let's just have a quick look at... see, this time it's thermal, kinetic. What does the worm do? Entirely thermal. So, multi-spectrum was probably a good idea. Corax is kinetic. Griffin probably isn't doing me any damage. Oh, it's all explosive. And the Kestrel, all EM. There you go. So that's the full spectrum covered in this wave. So the multi-spectrum hardeners are probably much more effective. I will try and check what the boss's damage is as well, but I will have to pay quite a lot of attention. I'm annoyed I have to pull that in, because the boss does stress me out a little bit, because I do run it fine. I get just into structure. So far every time with this fit I've dropped into structure, but I've out DPS'd him. as I say, different hardener, better rigs, and I reckon that is easily avoidable, but I don't have those. So the drone aggro this time around is very annoying. Having to pull them is, and it means it takes a bit longer. Straight away they're aggroed again. It means the site takes a lot longer because you're not applying your DPS. So if you run a different weapon system, obviously you can get through these things faster because there's not these big gaps in applying DPS to the rats. Alright, let's go. Try and hold some aggro for a little bit. Nope, the Corax has changed again, and because they're all small ships, they have no real problem tracking the drones, so they hit them pretty hard. I believe the Astero does have a bonus to there it is. Bonus to drone hit points. Yeah, so that helps, but it's still pretty annoying. Okay, Corax. That's the new pressure off me again. Now it's the Cormorant that's decided to go for them. Of course it's the one that I'm not going for, so they've got an easier time tracking. So this is this is actually taking a lot longer than most of the time. The drone aggro has been particularly bad. Normally, it's an annoyance, and they do it a lot, but it's been particularly bad in this wave. And as I say, in this site, and it just makes the whole thing take a lot longer. But the purpose of this is, I can't fly Tech 2 frigates, so I don't have the skill points in the right place to fly them. So I wanted to try it out in a Tech 1 frigate that most people could jump in. Obviously it's not a cheap fit, I'm not going to pretend this is a really cheap, easy, accessible fit that's running this. Estimated 130. The ship itself is 60 million or something, and is about to probably go up more with the industry changes. Alright, one more wave, come on. But, if you've got the ISK, you don't necessarily need all the skill points. I haven't tried any destroyers. I don't fly destroyers very much at all. Supposed to be flying, come on. Okay. And another huge gap. They know I'm recording, they really want this to take a long time. And no cruisers. Alright, this wave should hopefully be a bit quicker. Condor, Griffin. Alright, hopefully it doesn't repair too much. The Bantam, I don't really know what the Bantam does. Look, it might be offering reps, I guess, but I don't know for sure. It never attacks me, and the Condor did just get a bunch of reps, so maybe that's come from the Bantam. And you don't actually have to kill it to go through the gate. I do, because it bothers me that there's a rat left on grid, but you don't have to. The Griffin is running ECM jamming, which obviously can be a bit annoying as well. And you can see all the other E-War going on. Warp Disrupt, Scrambled, and Neuted. So we've got to keep an eye on that cap, just in case. Let's go after the Griffin now. Chuck the Bantam on at the end. This is the final wave, so it shouldn't be much longer, and we'll get through to the good stuff. Through to the boss, where hopefully I don't die for the first time on video. Probably worth me saying there, I've died plenty of times on video. I don't die for the first time in these sites while I'm recording, is what I meant. I die regularly. Partly because I like to just try things out now, so I didn't check YouTube for what these sites contained or did. That's an annoying amount of damage. I just read that it could be done by T1 frigates in high sec and thought, okay, my Astero is pretty good, it's a strong ship, let's just go see what happens. and that's what I've done for quite a few of the last events. I think one of the videos I did for maybe the Yule Festival, while I was recording, that was the first time I'd gone into the site. And so, you know, every now and again that backfires, and that's how you lose ships. But so be it. I enjoy it, and it's fun. I really hope this is the last one, and they're not going to force me into a 5th wave. I was clearly wrong about not having to kill the Bantam. Doesn't have any damage in it. And there we go. Active acceleration gate appeared on scan. So let's turn this off. I am going to ignore these if I can and go straight in. Am I going to be allowed to? No. God damn it. This is the first time this has happened to me. And as always, as I say, it happens while I'm recording. So get that back on. And let's fight another wave. But good to know that this happens. If you don't make it through the gate before the wave turns up, obviously they scram you and you can't jump through. This is the first time I've seen a 5th wave, so I didn't rush it because I didn't know it appeared. So it's a bit random, it would appear, and once again that means I've gone 5 waves without a cruiser, which is fine. But they obviously don't have great tracking on your drones, and so the drone aggro is not as annoying. It just takes a little bit longer to get through them, but you know, it takes a long time to get through these as well because of the drone aggro. Come on. Need to get rid of some of these newts as well. And the reason I didn't want to rush through is because I wanted my capacitor to recharge a little bit and make sure my armor was fully topped up before heading into the boss, because every little helps. So I'm not going to rush through again now and hope that they don't spawn. Oh, but that's nasty. I've just noticed that, again, that's something else to bear in mind. Every time I tried to jump through then and failed, it consumed a key. So I think I've just used 2 keys up just because I couldn't get through this gate, which is a little bit annoying. But it's one of those things. And so I'm sort of glad I discovered it on video so that you guys are aware of it too. You can see the payouts. So that's showing that this site is lasting a little bit longer, because that's a bit more cash than I'm used to receiving. Right. I could jump through now. I'm not going to bother with the Bantam because it shouldn't attack me, and I can jump through once I've cleared this cormorant down. So let's turn that off, because that should ramp us up. Return to drone bay. Are we at 100%? Yes we are. Shield going to regen just a little bit. And when we feel ready, alright, capacitor's nice and high. Shield, what do I want to target? It doesn't really matter. Oh, but what I have been doing, and I almost forgot because I'm recording and I want to mention, is that, as I said, the boss is quite tough, so I preheat my reps and then just run. Oh, Courtmate turned up in here. And then just run reps constantly while I'm in there, and just try and outlast him basically. So let's give it a go. Let's head in.
Warp drive active.
See, another key's gone. Preheated, and as soon as he starts applying damage, I'll be cycling it. So just him, just this guy. Start that, drop them, get that, and the drones took too long to drop out. There we go. Start running that, and then let's just have a hope for the best basically. See, he's got omni damage but mostly explosive, so it could be worth tanking for that. and there's no right damage to deal with him. He's got completely normal what's it called? Shield. I'm just going to orbit at 2.5. There's no point in trying to run away from him with this fit because the scram stops you being able to use your micro warp drive. And now, honestly, it's just a case of hope for the best. Like, I can't get away. I've just got to hope my drones damage him faster than he damages me. But you'll see every now and again he does a big 300 hit with presumably with explosive. There you go, 297. But we're through his shield, which means we're getting quite close. I'm burning out my armor rep a little bit, which would be a problem. Nearly there, nearly there, nearly there. There we go, done. Alright, turn off overload before I burn that out. Turn to drone bait, and let's check what we got. But first time I haven't gone into structure, so that was good. Oh, I went into structure by 2 damage. Right, what loot have we got? Nothing that good. Some boots, which is fine. Some low-level overseers effects, and then useless tat. So that's that. I now go find a structure and repair my drones and my ship and stuff. Obviously, claim this for 10 more points and start it all again. I've got 1 more key, so I'll go run this site. But as I say, I've got to go get repaired first. So I hope the video took a bit longer than I was hoping, but I hope you found the whole thing informative, or at least you found bits of it informative and skipped the rest. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Good luck with the event. I hope you go out and enjoy it. This is quite a fun one. Yeah, see you all in the next video. Cheers.